everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Boipelo and this is Boipelo and Sipho. Please do not forget to subscribe, like and comment down below because I know you're gonna love it already. I have an amazing guest. We've been trying to record since last year. Since last year.
You know, I was thinking about it.
Oh my word.
I was trying to remember. When was it? Was it last year? Oh, was it this year? But yeah, I remember we've been trying. But you kept changing dates.
Was it me? It's me. And
both
you.
of us.
It's both of us.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But I have the amazing woman of God.
What?
The amazing wife, mom, queen of goal execution and purpose-driven life, Millicent Musuwo. Please introduce yourself to us and tell us how you're doing today.
Okay. Like she said, I'm Millicent Musuwo. I'm a wife and I'm a mom. And professionally, I'm a business analyst.
Sure.
And now I've just ventured into entrepreneurship.
Wow.
So yeah, that's all I do.
Sure.
And I'm passionate about impacting lives, and that is where goal execution comes in.
Sure.
And I believe that is my purpose.
Yes. I have one of your goal execution guides.
Yeah, I hope
and I use it. I use it. I use it during my work, because then I have patients to see. I have this. I have to write down and take. And I love that when I haven't finished it, it says what are the blocks or impediments, what stopped you, so that you can then go back.
Work on that.
Exactly. So
I love it.
I use that book, like I keep it in my bag all the time. So she sells them, guys. So check her out on her Instagram. Don't forget to follow us and like and comment. So I watched Millicent's restoration story on her channel. Oh my word. I heard you speak at Gioratile's event as well. Speaking about your childhood and how you've become Millicent Musuwo today.
Yeah.
And I see the grace of God in your story. And I was like, more people need to hear the story. The people in my circle, the people who are subscribed to our channel need to hear. So please describe to us what your childhood was like leading up to then the loss of your dad.
Okay. Where do I start? I'm just gonna throw my mom under the bus. Sorry, mom. You know, I'm the first grandchild, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
First grandchildren are raised by their grandparents if they were born out of wedlock. So my mom had me when she was 18.
Sure.
She was still in school. So yeah, I was raised by my grandfather and my grandmother. And those were, my grandfather played a huge role of fatherhood in my life. Like, I can't even explain it, right? And then my mom got married to my amazing dad, right? And where I come from, you can actually marry with the child. Like, if I have a child, I can actually get married with, with my child, and we changed the surname and everything. We became like such a beautiful family.
Wow.
And that's my dad that I know, that I lost, you know, and I mourned.
Sure.
So growing up, let me start with being raised by my grandparents, because I lost my grandfather first. And I think I was in grade 4.
Sure.
And he was, at that time, I called them mom and dad, and I called my mom by her name.
Sure.
And she's my best friend now. Anyway, so yeah, they gave me the foundation. I think I always look back at how they raised me and who I am right now. And I remember telling my husband that I think at the back of my mind, I knew I've always wanted to get married to a man like my grandfather.
Wow.
Because I've seen how they were doing life. And also how my grandmother, the kind of a wife she was, and the kind of a mother she was. I think I took more from her and some from my mom, you know. And yeah, so it was good. They took care of everything. They took care of me. I had nothing. Like I didn't lack anything.
Yeah.
And then until I joined my mom with the new family as well. they awesome
Wow.
family. And then until I lost my grandfather when I was in grade 4, right? And then I lost my dad when I was in grade 12.
Sure.
And I didn't even know that he wasn't my real dad.
Wow.
That's how good he was to me.
Sure.
And the family, I didn't know. It still doesn't feel like they were not, you know.
Sure.
But obviously that left a void in me. But I think what broke me the most was losing my grandfather, because I remember even at school they told my mom that I've dropped, like I'm no longer like active and everything. It really, I remember I was young, but I felt the pain during that time. So when this one happened as well, I was like, just finished, you know. So yeah, so my mom was a housewife at that time. A lot of things happened. Obviously then we started suffering. There was no means of income. And grade 12, that's just like a year before I go to varsity as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my childhood in brief.
Wow. Like it's so packed just on not knowing who your real dad was, but also being so loved in an incredible way by your stepdad that you end up like feeling like he's your real dad. And there's a lot of loss in your story, a lot of grief. But I know that also in the end, there's a lot of restoration.
Yeah.
So now you lose your dad and you go to varsity. What's that like?
Actually, I didn't think I was gonna go to varsity because when my dad was still alive, he worked so hard to make sure that I go to varsity. Like we used to talk about it, like even helping me with school, you know, encouraging me. So he wanted me to go to University of Pretoria. That's where I wanted to go. And unfortunately, things didn't go our way. I wanted to study something to do with agriculture there. And when it didn't happen, I didn't think I was going to go to varsity. But my mother's faith, that woman, I think I took that side of her, you know, and, you know, yeah. So she was like, you go into varsity.
Wow.
I'll see what I can do. So she used to do housekeeping jobs, like, but she wasn't really permanent. Maybe she would wash for relatives there and there, and then they would pay her. And then she also used to do like some, like, you see these piece jobs, yeah. That's how it used to be like. But that day she said to me, "You're going." So I remember she packed my bag, and then we went to the taxi rank. I was going to Joburg for the first time.
Wow.
From a village. You know, when you're a village girl and you're not exposed to the big city. So I went to Val, and I remember it was very emotional time. I cried so bad in the taxi on my way there, because when I got there, I realized that almost everyone had their parents, if not a sister. There was someone on the queue with you, you know. And when I left, I only had money to go. There was nothing else in my results. But my cousin's sister told us about Valley University. She was staying in Germiston. So then we went there. I went there. My mom had to go back home again when I got into the taxi. And that's when I knew God was with us, and her faith really worked, because just when I got onto the queue with my bag, I overhear this lady speaking Sepedi. And then I'm like, I'm greeting her with Sepedi as well. And then, okay, we keep it like that. So my mom keeps calling me because she's busy looking for where I was going to sleep, busy talking to like relatives or people that she knew, and things, it was just not working. And that's when the lady was like, is everything okay? Then I told her that this is my situation. My mom doesn't work, and I just came, you know. And then she was like, wait a minute, where are you from? So I'm like, I'm from, you know, when you meet someone who speaks your language in a foreign place, you like, you just automatically become friends. So then she was like, no, where I stay, there's actually 2 single beds. You can sleep at my place. And then if I'll ask my sister to speak to the landlord, because the landlord is my sister's colleague at ESCOM. So he just bought the house and he wants to turn it into a student accommodation. So maybe you can talk up with them and then see if you can actually rent out the other bed. So that's where I met. She's my best friend now. So we went, and then like I was accepted into IT.
Wow.
At that time, I was literally just looking for any course.
Yes.
But God was ordering my steps, because now I'm so in love with my career, guys.
Sure.
And I am killing it by the grace of God. I'm making a difference. People literally see God in my work.
Sure.
But it wasn't my own plan. It was God's plan, you know? And from there, then I stayed with her. We were sharing whatever she has. She would share with me. When my mom made money or sent me something, I would share with her as well. But more than anything, my whole life adversity was all about God sending people my way. So how I grew up, my grandmother I used to be the most precious thing for her, to an extent that I wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
Sure.
They would lock the gates. I would always be at home. They were I would be allowed to go play, but to a certain extent, you know. So I kind of got used to that indoors life. So I think God knew that I wasn't going to be the person who's gonna go out and make friends, or I wasn't good at that.
Sure.
I was always in my room. But one of the moments that, you know, my biggest highlight adversity is I would go into a classroom and just happen to understand programming better, for example, or maths. And then a classmate would say to me, hey, can you please help me? I saw that you're actually doing well in this subject. Can we go to my room so that you can help me after the class? And then I would go to her room. When we get to her room, she would prepare a meal. And for her, she was just being human. But to me, it was a provision for that day, because I probably didn't know what I was going to eat. So it happened like that in so many occasions, and in each and every single thing, including the hair. Like I had a friend, she does graphic design for our company now. She would say to me, you know what, I want clients, since you're serving a church and you're always in the eyes of people, can I do your hair so that I can get more customers? And for me, it was a provision, because I needed to look like other kids at school, you know? So my mother didn't really, she always say, Millicent never really gave me a hard time calling me saying, we need this. God has always like been there for me. So that was my life adversity, and making it with no means of income, but with God being our provider. And that's why I learned that God is the provider, not our money.
Sure. And then now you go from varsity, and God has been providing despite all of the challenges. And now you go into work life, right? There's a time where you're a receptionist. There's a time where you're still sending money back home. What is that like? Because I want to talk about defying the odds. One thing I've seen is like when people don't get accepted for the course they want, they kind of just let go. They're like, no, I didn't get accepted. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. And I think that like, in many ways, God can interrupt your life and literally take you to a place where He feels is your calling. And I feel like the same has happened to me in my career. I did not even know what occupational therapy was when I even got into it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. When I tell them I'm an occupational therapist, they're like, what is that? You know? And I feel that in many ways, and I'm so glad that we're going into like times where applications are open, because I feel like this can speak to someone to say, even if you don't get the desired course for whatever reason, you don't get the university you wanted for whatever reason, go where you are accepted, or still try to get in somewhere, because God will order that step and provide for you in that way.
Absolutely.
So what was work life like now?
Okay, also that one. Yo, guys, I've seen the hand of God in that in that part of my life. Like, when after my first year, it was just like God touching hearts, like I said. And then my best friend, the one that I stayed with, she changed the institution. She had to leave and go study somewhere. And then I met Glenda. I'll just call by name. I met Glenda, and she became my roommate. And then her family loved me so much every time they buy something, they would buy for 2.
Wow.
Every time she buys, even if she sees like a nice shirt at Mr. Price, she would buy for 2. You know, and people didn't think we met at school. They didn't believe it. We got to a point where we combined our beds.
Wow.
And slept together. So I'm coming to a point that because I met her, then she gave me information about NSFAS. Then I applied for NSFAS. So after getting NSFAS, then my mom didn't have to worry about anything. Instead, then that's when I started taking care of them from second year, right? And so I relied on NSFAS. NSFAS was paying for my accommodation. I also got accepted at RES. Things were becoming better. And then my third year, the third year you do 6 months, and then the other 6 months you need to do project.
Yes.
If you don't get an in-service training, you do project at school. And that means you need to go look for a client that is facing a real problem. And then you design some solution like technology solution, like a system for them, and then you present it at school. If it works, then that's when you can graduate. So that's how I can say corporate life started for me. So I got this job, and they said to me I was going to be a IT specialist. I don't know why did I think I can just start by being a specialist, because it doesn't really work like that. It's only to find that I'm actually a receptionist, which I worked for 3 months. But it helped me a lot, because then I was able to fund my project, because project is still registered like a semester. You still need to register and pay the fees. So I've managed to do that. And 3 months down the line, I realized that, you know what, this is not working for me, because I was staying in Soweto, I was using a train. Like, the life was just not, it was too, like, even the condition, like my rent was 400. You can imagine a condition, room here 400 per month. You know, I was sleeping on the floor. The train, I think I was spending 110 or 120 per month. But you know, the experience, good training, guys. I remember this one time they left with my king ponytail.
We
were so squashed. Have you been on a train before?
Yes, but in Cape Town. So I think it's a bit different.
No. You're talking about something different. I'm talking about the Joburg one, from Soweto to Joburg. It was just so hectic. I couldn't bear with it. But I started using the opportunity I got to apply. So I applied, and then I got a job at Sanlam. Also at Sanlam, they said I'm a sales consultant. Ne? So I'm thinking, wow,
sounds fancy.
I'm going to sell policies. They took me for training, and then I did that. Then they were like, you don't need to come to work. You just need to sell from wherever you are. And then every Friday bring business. So I was getting paid. I think if I sold funeral plan for example, let's say for that one client, they're going to pay a premium of 250 per month. They multiply it by 5, and that's your commission. I was getting paid in commission. So I went back to RES, because now I was like, I just need to go back to RES, because NSFAS had paid RES for the whole year. Then I decided to register for BTech, which I didn't finish. So I registered for BTech just so I can continue to have the accommodation, because commission I didn't want to look for. And I was traumatized by that room, guys. So during that time I was earning 3.5. I had to send something at home, help my siblings, help myself, pay for project. So I felt like with commission, that would be better. Then I don't need to deal with being in Soweto. And, you know, till now, I always say I can never survive in Ekasi. I want to be in a village, either village or suburb, guys. I cannot be in Ekasi. Because of that experience.
Okay,
no,
I get
never
I grew up in Ekasi, so I'm just like the village, maybe not. But
I grew up in a village. It's so peaceful, like, and safe.
I understand.
You know? So anyway, then I when I went back to RES, I stayed at RES, and then I started working. Trust me, I never went to the streets to sell policies. The security guards that were coming every night, you can imagine how many security guards come at a university building. I'm not even counting all the residents that are there. So they would tell their friends and their colleagues. I would always have someone signing up or covering their mom, because I would explain to them how it works. They would sign up. Then I'll always have business. I remember I would make around 12K per month. I'm telling you. So then with that, then I managed to fund my graduation. I finished project, and then I funded my graduation. I also got my mom to come. And yeah, so now that I graduated, I was now looking for an IT job or IT related job, but I knew that I wanted to be a business analyst because the role was exposed to me during project. I enjoyed it, you know, during that training or project time. So at that time at home, because there was a time when I was at school, mom would send me grant money from my brother. He didn't really get to spend it. So we became one and we were helping each other. So my brother completed his matric, but he couldn't go anywhere. The plan was that if mom could push me, at least I can start working. But you know how it is in South Africa, it's not a smooth road, you know. So because I had to go through what I had to go through, but with Sanlam money, I decided that, you know what, let me go back home. I got a degree. He doesn't. I worked. If he gets the opportunity to do what he wants to do, which is military, let me resign, take the money they were deducting, the savings, give it to him so that he can get started. I can always apply. So that's when I went back home. But I stayed. But God was faithful because I was sending money at home. My brother, he was now doing training in military. They were giving them stipend. He was the one now sending us. But until I got the job. And the first time I got the job, my mom again packed the bag. I got an interview call. She packed the bag and she said, "Congratulations, you got the job." And I went to an interview with a big suitcase. And on my way back after the interview, but I didn't take it to the interview room. I slept at one of our cousins, and then I left the bag there, and then I went to an interview. On my way back, in the taxi, they called me and they told me that you are through. And from there, I was never without a job since that time.
So in all of this, we see the hand of God. In every, like, since you were little to now, and even the faith that you live with, right? When does God then say, "Millicent, you're called for more. Yes, you're doing work. But I want you to be on YouTube. I want you to be about goal execution. I want you to be about a purpose-driven life. I want you to be more out there." When does that part happen?
Okay. So it happened when, obviously, there were other things that happened in my life, right? And I found myself, I felt like I lost myself at some point. And then I met my boyfriend, my husband, who was my boyfriend then. And then he got invited to speak, to be part of the career guidance, but he was going to speak from entertainment industry, you know. So when I got there, we just found that their speaker for IT for that day, I was just accompanying him, didn't come. And they just asked me, what do you do? Then I said, I'm in IT. So they were like, "Do you mind filling in for someone who actually disappointed us?" And I didn't prepare. I was like, they were like, "Please, please, please." I went and I spoke because I felt like it was easy because I'm just talking about what IT is and then how broad it is and where the space I'm in and what we do. That's basically what I explained. So from there, like, the kids were so, like, I felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? So I guess God set me up like that for me to actually get to do it in order to discover it or identify that this is it. This is what set my soul on fire. So after that day, they even asked for me to create a WhatsApp group. They were just touched by how I spoke. And I knew that I'm meant to be a speaker, but I needed to know what is my message. Because you can be that, but speak about what? You cannot address everything, you know. And then my husband again. It came through my husband again. From that day, I felt like I want to do a website on the side. So I started with his own website for his personal brand.
Wow.
Then I started marketing it. His friend saw it. And he was like, you know what? My dad has been looking for someone who can do a website for the church. And I see your girlfriend do websites. May you please connect us with her?
Sure.
Then he connected us with the family. And then I met him, the dad. When I met him, trust me, he's the one who discovered that in me. As we were talking. We did the website, but the meeting was just so divine. So it got to a point where they invited me to speak at their church. And from there, I enjoyed it. And the church wanted me to come back. I went the following week. And then that's when I started a channel because I felt like I want this. But YouTube channel, I feel like for me, it was more of practice ground for me, given my background, where I come from. I used to be insecure about my English, my accent. Obviously, I didn't go to the best schools. So I feel like the more I do my YouTube, the more my gift is getting refined. The message is there. I just need to refine how I articulate myself. So I think YouTube is one of the tools that God led me for practice.
Wow.
And it's helping me a lot because even in corporate, I'm able to speak in boardrooms with boldness because now I do it more often in front of the camera. So that's how I discovered my purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what would you say then is purpose? And for someone who's out there, because your goal execution guide, the one that I say I have and I do use it. It asked me a question, what is your vision? And I was like, oh my God. Like how does one discover their vision? Is it what do I want my life to look like 10 years from now? But also how do I discover
Define
what that is?
Okay, first of all, you need to acknowledge that God created you. Right? Because that's where it's supposed to come from. It's not going to come from me. It's not going to come from people who inspire you. It's not going to come from a prophet. They might pass a certain message to you, but it's going to come from God. And He's going to reveal it to you in phases. If you think we barely can only have this, 20% at the moment, you do it. It's our visions are respectively very big. But God revealed to us as we manage well. I would say in pieces, or in phases, right? So if you want to know exactly what is your purpose, because it starts there before you even write down a vision, it starts with why you were born, why you exist. Find out from God. Cultivate a relationship with God. It starts with Him. It does not start with what's my goal, what is my wish. No, it starts with why am I here? And to know that, you go to your maker. And your maker will reveal it to you, And for me, He can use anything to reveal it to you, by the way. For me, because it's my own unique journey, could be different for you. It was through confirmation of people in the body of Christ. And that is where that man was like, I see this in you. And He provided the opportunity and the platform for me to actually exercise it. And you will get the confirmation that this is it. This fulfills me. This is what I want to do. And some of I can say the tips, if you want to know if really, really, really is for sure, it's something that you're willing to do, even if you don't get paid for it. It's something that is a burden for you. It either makes you angry or it burdens you, like it disturbs you. I always give an example with people. It's possible that your purpose is in decorating. If you have a community of the body of Christ, and maybe in most cases the local church, that is the best place to discover your purpose, because there are so many platforms that are free for you to exercise, test by serving, right? Sometimes you walk into a church and you're like, the way these curtains are, it disturbs me. And then I come and I'm like, I don't even have a problem.
I don't see anything wrong.
I don't see anything wrong. That is not me. Actually, Mr. Vusikokela at the workshop in Durban, he mentioned something like, he said him and his brother-in-law went to some conference, if I'm not mistaken. So he was looking at the office spaces there in that building. Look at that. I love this table. I love, you find it even in your interests that actually this is who I am and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And why? Because that's who he is. He is more of one-on-one and coaching people, right? That is why he was enticed by that. And then the brother-in-law was now saying, did you see the crowd? Did you see the chairs? Did you see the stage? And what? So I'm like, I don't care about that. Or I realized that, remember, he's an evangelist. That is why that excites him. And that, you see also in the things that interest you. If you're being honest with yourself, you're not influenced by anything, but just you. That gives you, snippets of this could be my identity, and this could be exactly what I'm in line with what I'm supposed to be doing. But other than that, have a relationship with God. He will reveal it to you. He will order your steps. If there are people who are supposed to speak that into your life and confirm it, first, if you have a relationship with God, He will lead you to those rooms. He will lead you to those people,
I love that.
So, yeah.
So I think that's one thing that I see that is central in every single thing that you do in your marriage, in your motherhood journey, in your business, in your job. It's about keeping Christ first.
Yeah.
And I want to know what that looks like in your marriage, because putting Jesus as keeping him as the foundation of your marriage is very practical in how you serve your husband.
Yeah.
It's very practical in how you mother Ruva, right? So how does that look like, keeping Christ first in your purpose? I get it. I see what you're saying in your marriage and motherhood, because I look up to you as a wife and as a mom. Yes.
No pleasure. But guys, for me, I would say it doesn't really start in marriage. It starts in the season of singlehood, right? When they say you are now mastering singlehood, it's when you, as a person, be a person that put God first.
That is so good.
First, and then when you go into marriage, you are just being you. It's not, now that I'm married, apparently in marriage God comes. No, you are just a person who put God first. And for me, that's like consulting with God. What does God say when I'm confused, when I'm supposed to take a job? When I was coming here, I was like, can you take it on a little bit? I just want to pray. Because I'm like, God, I can never do this kind of things on my own. Take over my tongue, Holy Spirit. There's an audience that is supposed to listen. Can they hear you more than they can hear me? It's just to humble yourself enough to say, I cannot do it on my own. That's literally for me what it means to put God first in everything. And if it's good and it's pleasing to me, to him, and it is his will, I will know. And if it's not his will, I will also know, and I will not participate in it, and I will not do it. So you first start as a person. When you go into marriage, or maybe when you start dating someone, because you now have values that you live by, and one of them is you put God first, right? You're gonna look at how they do life. And then if you see that they actually just move with whatever that comes, you're going to see, we're going to have a problem there, because we're going to go into marriage and I'm going to want to put God first. And they're going to want to put their mother first. Or they're going to want to put their father or the opinion of people, right? So practicing it as a single person, it's nice, because when you start dating, you validate your values against his values. And then when you go into marriage, it's not even a discussion. yo, babe, we need to pray about this. Or sometimes you just say, what do we do? Habi and I recently started a company. We feel like it is the vision of the family.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it when I took a shower this morning to say, we couldn't even put it down in words.
Sure.
But the day we decided to execute, it's becoming clearer and clearer. And I remember saying, we need to do a website, but we're like, we don't even know how to introduce ourselves. What do we do and what is it about? And, you know, but as we took this first step, because now we are committed to working on it, it becomes clearer and clearer.
Wow.
But it wasn't going to do that if God was not the foundation and if we were not consulting him. So personally, starting that, it's in the little things, starting the day with God, you know, it's putting him first. Allowing him to lead, even in the simplest things. I mean, we pray for Ruva's appetite.
Wow.
We pray for Ruva's joy. When we leave her, if we see she was crying, she wasn't moody, we ask God to make her joyful. You know, it's in the little things. I remember there was a time, every time we laugh, Ruva would start crying, thinking we're laughing at her. And Habi was like, we need to pray about this. And our Nin was like, really? We pray about everything.
Wow.
We prayed for her because we didn't want her to grow up like that.
Yeah.
And now when we laugh, she joins in.
Wow.
She laughs with us. And we're like, remember how she used to cry? We actually prayed up. So it's easy when you started yourself being that person and marrying a person who does the same thing or have the same values. When you are in marriage, it's easy. You're just being yourself.
Sure.
You came like that. You didn't have to act like now we are married. We have to start the day with God. No, you were already a praying person. You know, yeah.
Sure, that is so good. I think your whole life tells of God's goodness, of God's restoration, of a Christ-centered life.
Yeah.
And we see it in how you mother. We see it in how you marriage. We see it in your business and how God keeps giving you the provision.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Some cute ones.
Yeah.
3 words to describe your marriage.
Yeah, why only 3 guys? Happy love lives here.
Oh, that can be the 3 love lives here. I love
exactly.
that.
I've answered you then.
Yes. So,
but yeah,
speaking or being a business analyst, you have to choose.
Oh, I have to choose between the 2. Guys,
you have to choose.
I have to choose.
Yes.
I love both of them, but okay, speaking.
Wow, really? Sure. The bush or the beach?
I can't swim. The bush.
Okay. And then who would be your dream guest? A dream guest that you've always wanted to have on your YouTube channel. If this person said yes, you would be so happy.
He's late. That would have been Dr. Miles Monroe.
Wow, yes. He's amazing. Yeah, purpose, vision, that's his vibe.
He helped me through my singlehood. Like, I learned a lot from that man, and I continue to do so. So, yeah, I think he carried the subject of purpose well, and I think that's my message as well. Yeah, it will be him.
Sure.
But now, I think it will be Pastor Kabelo Moroke. I love him so much.
Wow.
All his teachings about leadership, I apply them in my work.
Wow.
And they work.
Sure.
So yeah.
That's amazing. Pastor Kabelo Moroke, if you're watching this, and you know him, connect a girl.
Yeah. Please. No. Next day I need to meet him.
Yes. Wow. And then favorite book you've ever read?
Purpose Driven Women.
Wow. By?
Why did I forget?
Purpose-driven women. Okay, we'll put it down there.
I'll send you a picture.
We'll put it down there.
Yeah.
Millicent, thank you so much for coming to our YouTube channel. Thank you for honoring this invite. I knew that I was going to learn so much from this conversation. And yeah, guys, you guys need to check out her YouTube channel. Check out her Instagram. She's a celeb there by Instagram.
Guys.
So please check her out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Any last words?
I love you guys so much.
Yes.
And yeah, I pray that you find your purpose.
Wow.
But no pressure though. As long as you work with God, take it one step at a time.
Sure.
And there is fulfillment. There's true joy in purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Love you guys. See you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Millicent.
You're welcome.